What's up, everybody? What's up? Shout yourselves out in the chat. Let's get active. Let's go live. We got action today, fellas. We got action. Sorry for the little delay, the little 5-minute delay. You know, YouTube was messing it up and everything, but we shouldn't be struggle streaming tonight. Hopefully we not struggle streaming, but if we are, man, if you in here, be sure to like the, hold on, I'm sorry, I can't say it like that. If you in here, be sure to like the damn video.
Hit it, hit it, hit it, hit it, get it, get it, get it, get it.
All right, man. So tonight, we got a doozy, man. We got a doozy. What's good? What's good, D-Dog? What's good, bro? What's up, XXX? What you on, brother? Tonight, we got a doozy. But before we get into the topic of tonight, what we on, fellas? Every time I ask what we on, I want y'all to say that we on that bullshit. We on that bullshit.
Man, there you go with that bullshit.
We on that bullshit.
Platinum record this, Bible record that. I'm making so much money, I'm all over the net.
Yeah, I'm the boss.
He on some bullshit.
We on that bullshit. What's up? What's up? What's up? Shout yourselves out. Shout yourselves out. Shine Yum Yum Sauce is in the building. What's up, bro? Big Zoe, the city thriller, is in the building. We about to get active, man. We about to get into it. All right, so, man, I like to appreciate everybody that tuned into the stream tonight. We're about to talk about something a little bit sensitive, but it's part 2 of the video that I posted Friday with Amala Epnobi. She just posted a new video tonight, and we're going to react live to it. All right, so I haven't seen the full video. We're going to react live to it and see that it got worse. I'm piggybacking off of her title, so let's go ahead and start the show. But again, if you new in here, I want y'all to like the damn video.
Hit it, hit it, hit it, hit it, get it, get it, get it, get it.
All right. So let's try this, man. I'm still new with this equipment, man. I'll shout out to everybody that helped me afford this, but we're gonna do it like that. Yes, sir.
Well, guys, welcome to part 2. In part 1, we investigated claims that a 17-year-old was invited to the Bob house to film TikTok videos. That ended up being true. It was 17-year-old influencer Piper Raquel, who has tens of millions of followers across all of her platforms. Upon further investigation, we found out that Piper Raquel has a website where you can buy bikini-clad photos of this minor, and this website is parent-managed, at least according to its own bio. Now, who's the parent managing this website? We speculated as to who that was. You guys can check it out in part 1 if you're unfamiliar. But today we have to get into part 2 and ask ourselves some questions. How is this allowed? Are there other minors operating in this way on this website or other sites like it? And what do we do going forward? So let's have the conversation and get into part 2.
Y'all know what time it is. We do the proper man movement going forward. That's the answer. If men are the ones stepping up against this, then we're gonna get results. But as long as we just sit here, sit back, and let these predators, these companies, continue to do what they want to with our children, who are we to complain about how they turn out when they turn into adults?
Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better.
Guys, before we get into today's video, please like and subscribe. Yeah, we're gonna get into part 2. So much to talk about. Of course, in part 1, we discovered Piper Raquel's website, which is parent managed, and we speculated as to who that parent was. Maybe the momager of Piper Raquel, Tiffany Smith, who has been working with Piper in creating this sexually suggestive content, it seems, for quite some time. But of course, I have to say, everything in this video is alleged. It's for informational purposes, and I am speculating as to what is happening in the many situations we are going to discuss moving forward. Now, to follow up on the Piper Raquel story, you'll remember there was a young girl from the Bop House named Joy May. She is one of the OnlyFans creators that lives at the Bop House. She was opposed to Piper Raquel even coming there in the first place, made a whole video crying about the fact that they had a 17-year-old on the premises because you guys know what you do at the Bop House. You guys know that you are OnlyFans creators, and you guys know that you are leading sexually charged individuals over to Piper's page. But Joy has followed up on her initial video saying she overreacted. Let's watch.
I overreacted and I was very, very emotional, as you guys can see. I do have a lot of other issues with the Bop House, but the Piper situation was completely innocent and I did take it.
Oh, hell no!
Did she just say that the Piper situation was completely innocent?
Get the rocks.
Yeah.
Abdul,
Yeah, get the rocks.
get the rocks.
And here I was in my last video, so happy that we might have had at least some woman that's in this industry that has some type of moral compass. But instead, what we get is a reverted back to thoughtness. Like, oh my goodness, I'm so disappointed. I am so disappointed. But should I be? Should I be, fellas? We already know the Jezebel mindset, and the Jezebel mindset is the most corrupt mindset a female could possibly have, man. Moving on.
Get out of context. I did speak with Piper and her mother, and they are very, very sweet people, and they are under controversy that they honestly don't deserve. I did post on my YouTube the real reason why I left the Bop House, so if you want to know the truth of that, please go find it there.
Let's read some comments before we move forward. This one says, yeah, we know you overreacted. 25,000 likes on that one. Piper is just a child being exploited by her mom. Stop bullying her. Next one, Piper's mom is not sweet. So we have a plethora of opinions on this particular case. I'll let Joy know right now, girl, you did not overreact. The only way in which you overreacted is if you're okay with what Piper is doing online right now and what it seems her mother is leading her to do online. And this seems to be further evidence to the possibility that Piper's mom is the one behind all of this, the momager managing these sexually suggestive pages, selling images of this minor to men. Because why would Piper's mom be having a discussion with Joy, an OnlyFans creator, about her overreacting in regard to Piper being at the Bop House? Riddle me that. And Joy, I gotta let you know, you are not overreacting, at least from what I found online. And I've seen TikTok after TikTok of people starting to pick up this situation and talk about it, and all roads seem to lead to Tiffany Smith, Piper.
This woman right here. Y'all let me know, why do y'all think that Joy recanted her little stance? Why do you think that she recanted her stance? Do you think that somebody offered her some money? Or do you think that she just felt like she wasn't being fair in the situation, saying that because she said that Piper was the reason that she's leaving the Bop House, and now she's like, oh no, I overreacted. Y'all think money got involved? D-Dog says the money for sure. Hold on, guys. Let me fix a few things. There we go. Fix a few things here. We still slightly struggling. The stream is still a slight struggle. Just a itty bitty struggle. There we go. Now you guys can see your chat. But anyway, Moving on.
For Raquel's mom. Now, again, I don't know if Tiffany Smith is the parent manager of these parent-managed websites for Piper, but I do know whoever is managing the sites has been making some changes. And in order to talk about the changes that are being made to this website, I guess I'm going to have to expose the website itself. So drumroll, please. The website is Brand Army. Now,
Hold on, that was quick. Damn, Amala.
website, I guess I'm going to have to expose the website itself. So drumroll, please. The website is Brand.
Okay. All right, so I would like everybody, if you have like any free time, I would like everybody to take note of this website, and if you can, start filing complaints. If you can. If you have any free time, 5-10 minutes out of your day, start filing complaints on this website, because websites like this need to get taken down when they are providing an avenue for child exploitation. Simple and plain.
Brand Army. Now let's talk about the changes. When I initially heard about Piper Raquel's Brand Army page, she had a 3-tier subscription. The initial tier, the lowest tier, was free. But once this controversy started picking up and viral TikToks were being made about it, or we made our video about this situation, the bottom free tier changed to $5. And now the bottom tier is $10. So who is hearing stories of this page and driving traffic to this page and suddenly deciding to change the monetary value of the lowest subscription? Could it be the parent that is managing this website? Now, the second tier subscription on Piper's page used to be $30. Now it's $35. So let's really think about this. We've discovered that a minor is selling sexually suggestive photos of herself, or a parent is selling sexually suggestive photos of this minor online. People have discovered this website. Traffic is being driven to it either for investigative purposes or some nasties who are trying to get these photos. And instead of taking down the website as whoever is managing it, as it's claimed to be parent managed, you drive up the price multiple times. And it's not only that, Piper is not the only individual featured in the images that are being sold on her website. I went through some of the images, tried to cross-reference those with people she follows on Instagram or people she is pictured with on Instagram, and I can confirm, at least through my investigation, that at least one other minor individual, according to US standards of what a minor is featured in the pictures that are being sold on Piper's website. Of course, I'm not gonna say who that is, but it is one thing to involve as a parent your child in these images, but to pull other individuals in to make these photos absolutely blows my mind. Piper is also featured with a young woman that I found through going through her socials who is 19 years old making this sexual content. So a 19-year-old is getting together with the 17-year-old to make these photos and knows that they're being sold to men on the internet?
What does that sound like? That sounds like a group of people that are in the know about an organization where you can legally traffic your child. What is the definition of exploitation? These people, I'm going to look up real quick the definition of exploitation, because I want to make sure that I have the Google definition of exploitation, and we're going to put that up. We're going to put it up for you guys to see. You guys see that? Using someone unfairly for your own advantage. Exploitation refers to the act of using someone unfairly for your own advantage. It can also refer to the clever exploitation of the system. The term is often used in the context of labor where workers are exploited by their employees. Exploitation can also refer to the exploitation of natural resources, so on and so forth. So based on that definition, it would seem that we have a clear-cut case of exploitation. Now, the answer to Well, the question that's lingering in my head is, why is it that when women exploit their children, nobody has a problem with it, but when a man exploits his child, everybody has a problem with it? There was this young rapper whose name I forgot, but the boy was really, really young. And he was on a Pop the Balloon show. It's a little black boy. And he was on the Pop the Balloon show with grown women. And he came out with some rap video with guns in it and all this other stuff. Come to find out that he was handled by his father. And once they found that out, they canceled it. But when women are handling things, nobody goes to cancel the artist or the parent. And in this situation that we're seeing right now, that we're talking about right now, it seems as if women are given free reign. See, guys, if you've ever been in a situation where you could talk to women in the industry, they all have the same three stories. Either they was exploited by their mama, they were exploited by a female friend, or some guy that they trusted that was much older than them, that they were probably introduced to by an outside individual, outside party. So most of these women that are in that industry, that was in the not online industry, they've told me directly that 9 times out of 10, it was their mom. It's not the dad, it's their mom. I was in an unfortunate situation where I got to spend time around these women. And I'll just come out and say it. I did a little time. You know what I'm saying? So when you do a little time, we'll talk about that later, but when you do a little time, you get to see a lot of people, you know, and I was very young at that time. I was like early 20s. See what I'm saying? I got involved in a little bit of that street life. But we'll talk about that much later. That'll be a video. But being in a co-ed facility like Lexington Assessment and Reception Center, you get to talk to a lot of individuals. And a lot of the individuals that I was around at the time, at least through the transportation process, was women that were in there due to being trafficked. Moving on.
So weird. And of course, it begs the question, is Piper the only minor who's being victimized in this way on this Brand Army site? And of course, the answer is no. I'm going to blur these images and videos because I don't want to share other minors on this site in case this information gets into the wrong hands. But there are other profiles on this Brand Army website that are parent managed and at least allude to some sort of sexual nature behind the posts that they're making. Again, I cannot confirm that these are all sexual accounts, but many of them are insinuating it. And then of course you have to ask yourself, does Brand Army, this company, know that this is being hosted on their site? If they
How much I want to bet they know full well that this being hosted on their site? How much I want to bet full well that they know it's being hosted on their site? Because there's no way that you're going to be able to be a creator on the site, bring in probably the top 1%, and the site has no clue about you. That doesn't make any sense, because lonely fans are aware of their top 1%. So I would assume that this Piper Rochelle is a top 1%er. She has 12 million, she has tens of millions of followers on multiple platforms. So I'm almost positive that they know full well the type of content that she's posting.
They have enough forethought to put minors on parent-managed accounts, then they know that minors are often objectified and victimized by predators. That's why you would put parents as the gatekeepers on this website. So I looked into Brand Army and wanted to see how they treat their junior accounts, and I found this page. So by the way, on this Brand Army website, if you want to be a creator, somebody who posts videos and pictures and sells these posts, you can be below the age of 18. But if you want to be a subscriber or a fan to these creators, you have to be above the age of 18. Now, Brand Army says that a junior channel is a parent-run and managed subscription community.
Hold up. What? Wait.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
I'm gonna need her to say that again.
Or a fan to these creators, you have to be above the age of 18. Now, Brand Army says that a junior channel is objectified and victimized how they treat their junior accounts. And I found this page. So by the way, on this Brand Army website, if you want to be a creator, somebody who posts videos and pictures and sells these posts, you can be below the age of 18. But if you want to be a subscriber or a fan to these creators, you have to be above the age of 18.
That don't make no damn sense. That don't make no damn sense. To post content, you can be below the age of 18, but to be a subscriber, you have to be above the age of 18. Huh? Like, am I crazy? Am I crazy? How does that make sense? Who would subscribe to somebody that's that young? Okay, let me think about, let's say, Twitch streamers. You know, guys that just play video games online, they might be underage, right? But imagine if Twitch said, you can't subscribe to this page unless you're 18 and above. That don't give you creep vibes? You would think that you should be able to subscribe. You shouldn't be able to subscribe to a junior channel if you're above the age of 18. Only juniors and junior channel creators or whatever should be able to subscribe to people in their age range, not, oh, you're a kid, but only adults can subscribe to you, unless I'm mishearing that. Am I tripping? I must be tripping.
Now, Brand Army says that a junior channel is a parent-run and managed subscription community of a junior content creator or social media influencer under the age of 18 years old. Now, under their identification policy, it says that junior channel creators and their parents have to provide identification of some kind. It says that each junior channel must include parent managed somewhere in its about section so that everybody knows this is parent managed. And this is where things get interesting. Unacceptable content, prohibited and subject to immediate removal from Brand Army. Now, here are the different pillars that are unacceptable. Any fetish, photo, video, PDF, audio content, or textual copy, nudity, lingerie, twerking videos, emojis. And remember these emojis: the eggplant, the wet emoji, the pepper emoji, the peach emoji, the bunny emoji, the hot emoji, or the devil emoji. Now let's go back to our last video where we check in on Piper Raquel's page. And what sort of emojis did we see there? So we all saw that devil emoji, right?
That would mean that her page should be deleted because she broke the rules.
And this is where the story gets interesting, because of course, as I am investigating this Brand Army website, I'm thinking, who are the founders and owners? They need to be made aware that this is happening on their website. I found 2 names. I then found those names on Instagram. I sent them a DM saying I was investigating this, asked about their awareness of Piper Raquel's page and how they were handling this according to their guidelines, and I got no response. I also messaged the Brand Army page on Instagram, and I got no response.
Who's surprised? Who's surprised? Who's surprised that she didn't get any response when trying to bring up a possible situation where it could be a direct lawsuit or some type of criminal charges brought to these companies? Because see, what they're going to do is they're going to pretend that they don't know what's going on. They're going to pretend, oh, well, you know, we have hundreds of thousands or millions of users and we can't possibly know everything that's going on, but we do our best with our systems. The same thing that Twitch does when there's a lot of salacious girls on that website and they don't do anything because they're making the money. They're the breadwinners. They're the ones that's bringing in all the money and they're not trying to restrict it. If anything, they want word of mouth to go around in that underground community of parents that are willing to exploit their children for their own benefit so they can bring their little girl on. One thing that you will know about women that's in the industry is, let's just say they were trafficked as a child, or they were in the industry as a young adult, right? And they didn't have kids. Once they have kids, they know the value of being young. Ex-working girl knows the value of being young. And she also is around all ranges of men. She's around judges, police officers, married men, the scallywags, and PDF files. So what will happen is she knows which men are willing to pay for what and how much money. See, working girls they know when a recession is coming. Bet y'all didn't know that. A working girl can tell you when a recession is coming because they tricks ain't willing to spend money like they used to. Uh-oh, what's happened? The judge ain't got the money. Uh-oh, the lawyer ain't got the money today. Oh, Lord, the married man ain't got the money today. It must be something going on, because they're the first industry that gets cut when times are hard. But they also know the prices of these services, and they know full well that a young, underaged girl is going to go for the most money. So if the mother was in the industry or adjacent to the industry, they call them mama sans in the Asian community. If they were in the industry and adjacent to the industry, then they know that them having an underage daughter is worth millions of dollars. And I think that's exactly what's going on. They know that having underage daughters in this industry that they can exploit, because nobody stops women. Nobody is putting pressure on female parenting. That's why the courts award award women the children, and we only focus on where was the father? What was the father? But not asking how are all of these children growing up into traumatized adults. We too busy blaming a ghost of a man. We too busy blaming people that aren't even there to influence their actions. But instead of blaming the person that has direct influence on the actions that they have, you don't think that her mom could get her to stop? Or do you think that her mom wants to buy a Ferrari and have her cry in a Ferrari? This is what I'm talking about, fellas, man. Y'all let me know if I'm off on this. But I'm going to go into a little bit of a rant before we continue. One of the prostitutes, I shouldn't have said that word, I'm sorry. This is why I don't go live all the time. One of the working girls, her name was Egypt. And Egypt at the time was just turned 18. She had already been in the industry for roughly 10 years. And I said 10 years and I did the math. That would mean you would be 9 years old when you got into this industry. Piper Rochelle was what, like 13 or 10? She was 10 at the time. So I said, well, how would you get in the industry like that? Well, she was like, well, her mom. Her mom used to do it because her mom did it to her. And she coerced me into doing it. She kind of forced me into doing it. I was abused and everything like that. And roughly 9 years old is when she said she had her first, she lost her V card. And it was a dude she don't even know. And her mama was able to pay the rent due to that. And from that point forward, she's been used by her mom all the way up until she decided to, go out on her own. And since she was delinquent from school, she didn't have her GED or anything like that, she ended up in the Lexington Assessment and Reception Center at 19 years old. I think I was 19 at the time, and she's telling me this, and I'm just thinking to myself, why would a mother do that? Why would a mother take her daughter and feed her to a bunch of random men for money? And I asked her, how much money did she even make? Fellas, you will never believe this. $50,000 funky dollars. Her mama sold her out for $50, a 9-year-old. That's crazy. And you know what's so messed up? She was actually a sweet person. Egypt. That's all I knew her as was Egypt. She was actually a sweet person. Soft-spoken. You know, you could tell she was rough around the edges and ghetto. You know what I'm talking about. But ultimately just sweet. And that bothered me. Moving on.
But since then, Piper Raquel's page has changed. Let's go take a look. Now, the description on her $100 tier is the same, but the purple devil emoji has changed to a purple heart. I wonder why that is. But whoever made the changes to that $100 tier has not made all the necessary changes to conceal the fact that they're selling sexually suggestive images of a minor online. Back to the junior content guidelines, captions and direct message words must be mainstream and not flirtatious. Any content or language, both written and verbal, that is sexually suggestive or could be perceived as sexually suggestive or is deemed suggestive by the Brand Army staff. No micro bikinis, G-strings, thongs, thong bikinis, no showing underboob, no dancing on live stream for tips. Who knows whether or not that's happening? 100% bikini swimwear content. You must have a 50-50 mix of swimwear and non-swimwear content. What? This is not a bikinis only platform for teenagers. So if you're selling a bunch of content on Brand Army of you in a bikini and you're a minor, you just have to make sure you juxtapose that with 50% non-swimwear content. Please.
You can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up. Y'all heard it.
So they're basically saying, they're acknowledging that there's teenagers on here with swimwear. I'm about to Google Piper Rochelle. Y'all let me know. And I'm just going to Google her name. That's it. Just Piper Rochelle, nothing else. I'm going to Google. Y'all can Google it with me. I'm going to Google her name and y'all let me know if this is something strange going on. As you see, I just have her name Googled. And these are the These are the images that pop up. This right here. Those are the images that pop up. Actually, I'm probably going to get demonetized for doing that. More than likely. But I don't care because I want y'all to see what Google will show you when you just simply Google this young lady's name. Fellas, there is no hope for your child if you yourself cannot protect your children. That's why I say the proper man movement. There is no hope for your child if you yourself are not there to protect your children. When these courts award the mother, women are not protectors. They're nurturers. Men are protectors. Women are outside of their role when they're forced to protect. They're not inside their role. They're outside of their role. So when the elements get to your kid, understand that's the reason why they're gonna be bitter at you, because they know full well that it was never, so they just know subconsciously that they know that it was never their mother's job to protect them. It was your job. That's why I say, fellas, your job is to fight for your kids, not to be sitting there like, oh, the baby mama difficult. Fight for them. And if you can't win, if there's nothing you can do, at least have that backlog of birthday gifts and receipts and dates and all the other stuff. So when they do turn 18, you come in to look like Santa Claus. This is for when you was 9 years old. This is for when you was 10. This is for when you turned 11. And I got the receipts and everything. That's gonna melt anybody's heart, and they'll know exactly who the damn problem was. But see, the problem is a lot of y'all are lazy, don't wanna be involved with y'all kids. Y'all got other stuff going on. You got schedules you wanna maintain, and your children are out here by themselves. And nobody in the manosphere is willing to talk about this outside of me. And this is why we have young girls out here fighting for themselves. And then when you encounter them as an adult. See, we don't know child Piper. We don't know that. We're gonna know the 304 Jezebel Piper who has the dead stare, just like Sophie Rain, who only knows money, 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 exploit, lonely men. That's who we're gonna be introduced to in the manosphere. In the manosphere, we're gonna make videos calling her out, talking about how she has the Jezebel mindset and how, women like this should be avoided and you shouldn't marry these women and stuff like that. And yes, it's valid arguments, but at the same time, this is where it starts. It starts at her mother. Her mother is the reason. Her mother is the reason that she's like this. This woman right here is the reason that we have Piper Rochelle the way we have Piper Rochelle. This woman right here. That's who's responsible. These are the type of women that raise the Jezebel mindset 304s that we talk about in the manosphere. So when you see them on interviews like the whatever podcast or the Fresh and Fit in Miami, they learn all this behavior from other women. Men ain't teaching them this. Men have not changed throughout time. Men have not changed throughout society. We've always been the same. We've always wanted, fit, feminine, youthful, submissive women. No man has ever throughout the history of mankind celebrated Jezebel mindset 304, ever. It's not the men. It's low value men that will take advantage of women that have been lost. And it's witches like this that are out there influencing the negative behavior, but she doesn't have any power if she was surrounded by proper men. Proper men would not engage in any of this type of content. So women like this wouldn't be able to use their daughters as outlets in services. But fellas, it's up on you to hop on that proper man journey. You got to hop on the proper man journey and stay up on it. Because like I said, if I do go up overseas, I'm going to run into a whole lot of dudes. That do not care about all the working girls and where they came from. They just got $200, $100, or however much it costs, so that they can go bang 3, 4, 5 of them and feel good about themselves, because that's the way they get back at women in the West, is by going overseas to deal with.
Please make it make sense. And here's another guideline that Piper Raquel's page is not following. You are not supposed to have Playboy branding on clothing or in a video or photo. And boy, do we have evidence of that. And not only that, you are not supposed to be posed for photos or videos in a bed. And not only has she done that, she's done that with another minor present in the photos, allegedly. And of course, Piper is not the only page that's in violation of these supposed junior guidelines, some of which make no sense. Here's another example of a page with a pepper emoji in one of the descriptions of their tiers. So how is Brand Army not catching these little slip-ups? Well, they claim to be requiring monthly check-ins. They say we require the parent of a junior channel creator to check in once per month with their Brand Army contact. We want to know that the parents are continuing to manage and monitor their child's junior channel. We also want to know if there's anything we can do to help support their channel and see if there are areas in which we can improve. And the wording on this is very interesting. I'll read it again. We want to know that the parents are continuing to manage and monitor the child's junior channel. So on these monthly check-ins, are you getting on the phone with the parent and saying, hey, is everything okay? You guys making money? And then hearing yes and hanging up? Are you checking in on the websites of these minors? Are you checking in on the parents that are supposedly managing these sites to make sure they're following their guidelines? Doesn't seem like it. And when somebody DMs you to let you know this site may have run away from you at least once, if not many times, wouldn't you want to check in on that and make some changes? Maybe when a 17-year-old has a set of photos for sale on your site with a caption that says, Sophie Rain made me do it, you need to make changes. So we're gonna wait to see if we ever hear back from Brand Army, but I can promise you, I'm not gonna hold my breath. But wait, if you call now, there's more. Brand Army is apparently not the only website out there that is hosting this sort of content. Taylor and I went down a rabbit hole. We found another website titled Passes that apparently allows minors to create accounts, and Passes is marketed, or at least spoken about, in a way that refers to it as an alternative for OnlyFans. It's a way for creators to connect with their fans without getting into super sexually explicit content, but it doesn't mean you can't have a little not safe for work content on the site. And seemingly on this site, much like Brand Army, we have these parent managed accounts that are popping up where parents are seemingly willingly engaging with the fans of their children in a sexual way. And many of you, of course, commented on part one and said, Amla, this is not a new problem. And I know I've reported on it on this channel specifically with this story. This New York Post article is titled, Meta allowed parents to exploit their kids by having pedophiles pay to see them in bikinis on Instagram. Meta's new paid subscriber service allowed parents to exploit their children by charging pedophiles to gawk at their bikini-clad kids on Instagram, where girls as young as 9 years old were attracting comments from men such as perfect bikini body. Those
So it's very obvious that there is a lucrative industry out there. So guys, I think you kind of understand why and who actually is responsible for a lot of this. YouTube doesn't like conspiracy theories, but you know, we're just gonna say the shadow, the cabal, right? The Epstein Island, okay? Because who would be smart enough or bold enough, should I say, to make this type of content and allow this type of content on their website if they weren't afraid of criminal repercussions, right? Like somebody kind of has to know that this industry is okay. The FBI is not getting involved because what? They're not on the website engaging in full-on intercourse with a guy? But it's basically soft core, you know what? Like it's grooming. It's open them up to grooming and open them up to all this other stuff. And fellas, we should feel obligated to step up because it's a very real problem and it's not going anywhere anytime soon. In fact, I would like to, without going down to conspiracy theories, I would like to say that the powers that be probably want this to become normalized. I was having a conversation about that with my brother not too long ago, where I think that the powers that be want this to be normalized.
Thighs are perfect and you are so hot. Staffers at Facebook and Instagram parent Meta said they flagged hundreds of so-called parent-managed minor accounts that were using the subscription feature on those platforms to sell exclusive content that included photos of young girls in bikinis and leotards to mostly men, according to the Wall Street Journal. So yeah, it seems to be a tale as old as time that keeps jumping from platform to platform to platform, where parents are subjecting their children to this sort of victimization. And we know where some of these paths lead. Another commonly made comment on part one was that Piper Raquel is yet another example of a Danielle Cohn. Now, I had no idea who Danielle Cohn is, but decided to look into this name.
Man, shout out to Ezekiel Ben Israel, my guy. I appreciate you for the $2 super chat, man. And for that, Ezekiel Ben Israel, you get the belly dance baddie.
नी मियाँ तो कुछ चीर पा
Appreciate you, fam.
Now, she seemingly was exploited as a minor herself as young as 15 years old. Many say she had a fanfics account where images were being sold of her online, and of course, sexually suggestive ones. I don't know who was responsible for this page, but it is clear that it started when she was below the age of 18. And of course, as it is the natural progression of things, Danielle Cohn now does Playboy. So you can see how one stepping stone leads to the other. And as I'm looking into Danielle Cohn, I'm thinking, wait a second, that name actually does sound familiar. And it sounds familiar because if you go to Brand Army and sign up for the parent managed page of 17-year-old minor Piper Raquel, you're going to get suggested to you other accounts that are similar to Piper Raquel's. Now, what was one of the accounts that was suggested to me as a follower of Piper Raquel? Danielle Cohn. So
So that's just proof that it is a market. Right there is proof, fellas. That is 100% proof that it's a market, that they know it's going on. These companies are complicit and they don't care. They're aiding and abetting. Okay, like that right there is proof. It's an entire synergy of it. Oh, you go to Piper Raquel, who's supposed to be innocent, and oh, she's not nothing, it's nothing, but you get linked directly to somebody that's full on into Playboy. So I'm gonna ask you guys a question. If your daughter had a profile that when people click on it, there's links to women in Playboy, how would you feel? Give y'all a little time to answer that. How would you feel about that? Y'all said I had some reverb going on. But yeah, it ain't happening. It's not happening. I don't care what platform it is. It's not happening. Nobody is going to be able to link. Moving on.
So guys, for legal purposes,
I'm just preaching
I
to the
don't know
choir.
what's
Y'all know
going
what I'm
on this website. So guys, take that information as you will. You let me know what that means to you. But again, I have questions. How are we supposed to get through to somebody on this site to make changes in regard to this? In looking into this, I've confirmed that this sort of behavior online is most definitely illegal. So, wouldn't Brand Army like to know that what's happening on their site is direct exploitation, sexual exploitation at that, of minors, and that it is in fact illegal? And once you've been alerted to this information, if you've seen my DMs and emails, wouldn't you want to do something about it instead of allowing this to run rampant on your page? And if you haven't heard from me yet, hi Brand Army!
Hi, Brand Army. You'll be hearing from all of us.
Maybe as many of us as possible should reach out to this website to let them know what is happening on their site, what is being hosted on their site, because maybe now to this very day, they are still unaware. I gotta say, I'd love to be a fly on the wall for the next required monthly check-in with Piper Raquel's momager, who is supposedly behind this Brand Army page. What exactly are you guys discussing that lets this fly under the
What she did was she subscribed to the $5 portion of Piper's page. And so, yeah, you got to see my other video. I posted it Friday. And she'll tell you that, yeah, she went ahead and subscribed to it to see what was going on. And that's exactly what she found. She found that she wanted to confirm her suspicion if it was going to be spicy content of an underaged young lady. And I mean, I don't look at 17-year-olds as children. I look at them as underaged adults. Is basically what it is. But she's definitely being exploited because she's been groomed into this lifestyle ever since she was 10 and possibly even before that. So she did an investigation and that's what she found.
radar. Also, another question, Brand Army, what percentage are you profiting off of minors who are selling sexually suggestive photos of themselves on your site? How much of that are you guys taking home? So while Brand Army works on that question, I'm gonna pose the same question to Passes, and I think Passes might actually have an answer. In fact, I think Passes is going to be forced to have an answer because they're actually in the middle of a lawsuit right now. Let's read about that. AOL.com says influencer Lucy Guo sued for allegedly allowing CP on her social media platform billed as OnlyFans minus the nudity. The article goes on to say high-flying Miami party girl and tech influencer Lucy Guo has been named in a class action lawsuit alleging she and her subscription-based social media platform for influencers, Passes, knowingly recruited underage girls to create and distribute CP to members. The bombshell suit alleges how Passes and one of the explicit site's agents, Alex Celestin, took pains to hide the alleged sexual exploitation of the teen plaintiffs, and that Guo herself personally intervened to override the site's internal restrictions to strip underage content creators of protections put in place to protect minors. Guo has vigorously denied the accusations. According to the suit, between July and September of last year, Celestin and Lanny Ganoza, the site's erstwhile director of talent, instructed lead plaintiff and OnlyFans model Alice Rosenblum, who was allegedly 17 at the time, to, quote, create images and videos of herself engaged in sexually explicit conduct, end quote, and upload them on the site via its data storage system known as, quote, the vault, end quote. It further alleges that both Passes and Guo knew Rosenblum was underage but never took any steps to thwart the content from being made available, and that the site allegedly remains in possession of pornographic images and videos of then underage girls who make up the class members. And it's interesting to note that this guy Celestin, who's named in the lawsuit, used to work for Fanfics. And you'll remember we spoke about.
What's up, Malik? Kwali? You just walked into the BS. That's what you walked into. You walked into some bullshit. That's what we on, fellas. Ain't that right? We on that bullshit.
Man, there you go with that bullshit.
We on that bullshit.
Platinum record this, Bible record that. I'm making so much money, I'm all over the net.
Yeah, I'm the boss. He on some bullshit.
That's what you walked into. You walked into some straight up bullshit. Because if just to catch you up and catch everybody that might be new up, man, we basically just found out that there's multiple platforms that are in on underage exploitation. And parents are in on it as well. Not parents, women, mothers, single mothers are in on it as well. And what they're doing is they're protecting themselves behind parent managed content as a label to say that, you know, this is under the guidance of their parents. So everything in this content should be safe and following the rules because the parents know about it. So you, the guy that's viewing an underage girl in bikini, shouldn't feel bad because the parents know about it. That's pretty much the synopsis of what is going on here. Moving on.
Fanfics, because that's the site that was allegedly home to Danielle Cohn's content when she was underage. Fanfics has allegedly cleaned up shop since and no longer allows for minor pages. And you'll let me know if this sounds familiar. For the Passes website, it says joining the site as a minor required verifiable parent consent forms, which included a signed consent form, a video conference held with the parent, and a copy of the parent's identification or license. And here's where we'll stop on this article. Conveniently, the suit claims that on February 24th, the option for 15 to 17-year-olds to join the site, as well as details of its stringent internal safeguards, vanished from Passes terms and conditions. Now, as the article states, and I will reiterate, Lucy and Passes vehemently deny that they had any knowledge that this was taking place on their site or that they are responsible for this sort of behavior and activity. So Passes is in the middle of the legal ramifications of this sort of activity taking place online, and I'm wondering when that's going to take place for Brand Army. We'll wait and see. And that concludes part 2 of our investigation. So what started off as a 17-year-old making TikToks at a bop house turned into the discovery that that 17 17-year-old has a website where sexually suggestive photos are being sold of her. That website claims to be parent managed. We looked further into that site and found other parent managed accounts that seem to be selling similar content to a plethora of different customers. We tried to let the website and its owners know, hey, this is going on your site, and we've received a total of 0 responses. But hey, maybe they just haven't read the messages yet. But that investigation led us to Passes, yet another website that has its own history of selling sexually explicit or sexually suggestive content of minors. So much history, in fact, that they're in the middle of a lawsuit. So that's where we're at in our story. Will there be a part 3? Probably, because minor exploitation quite literally never ends on the internet, and we just so happened to uncover it covering one of these stories. We'll see what happens next. Will I get a response from any of the people I've tried to reach out to? Probably not. So that's where we're at, guys. Thank you for watching. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. What do we do moving forward? You guys maybe try to reach out to Brand Army and see if anything moves and if anything gets done. I will keep monitoring this Piper Raquel situation and other pages like it to see if anything changes, or if maybe we start to follow those very flippant junior content guidelines that tell you can sell 50% bikini pics, because we want to be safe, right, guys? Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. If you disagree with anything I said in this video, do get out, but do so respectfully. And if you like this video, like, subscribe, click the notification bell to be notified.
Shout out to Amala Ekpunobi for that content. Appreciate it, Queen. Strongly doubt that she'll see my channel, but she's right. She's right. She's 100% right. If a company is making a lot of money, I mean, it's like the same thing that's going on with the illegal immigration situation. Like, if there's people to be exploited, companies are going to exploit them. Simple and plain. You know, and then we have these heartfelt liberals. Oh no, these people are, it's great that they're able to get jobs. It's not great when they don't have protections. It's not great when they don't have rights. We have the right to walk out of a job that treats you unfairly. You have the right to not be discriminated against. You have a lot of rights and protections when working for your company. They can't just do what you have the right to fair minimum wage. Maybe it's not fair, but you have the right to minimum wage, should I say. And illegals don't have the right. Just like these children, they don't have rights. They're children. They can't vote. Or young adults. They can't even vote. They don't have rights like that. They are dependents on their parents. And when you have a situation where there's a power dynamic that is able to be taken advantage of, it's just in human nature to do so. It's human nature to take advantage of weaker humans. And that's the uncomfortable truth. War can't exist without peace, and peace can't exist without war. The only reason that we're at peace is because we can initiate a hell of a lot of war on other countries that wish to bring us war so that they can have peace. And you do have people who are morally challenged. And in our society, we allow women, for the most part, to be morally challenged because they exist in an environment that almost celebrates the Jezebel mindset. The Jezebel mindset is independent, anti-community, anti-family, do what thou wilt, Aleister Crowley, hedonistic, pleasure-seeking lifestyle, where I'm willing to compromise all that is good and just for some dollars. I'm willing to compromise my relationships. I'm willing to compromise my reputation, my integrity, my self-worth, my body, my health for a Ferrari. I'm willing to compromise all of these principles of virtue so that I can live in a mansion full of fake friends, hedonistic, predatory-minded network of associates, and I'm gonna pretend that I'm happy. That's where that comes from. That's where the Jezebel mindset comes from. And we have an economy within an economy that promotes this. Everybody knows it. And the only people that have access to it are the youthful, young, impressionable women that are impulsive, traumatized, misguided, and lack moral scruples due to not being taught any moral scruples by a woman that our court systems elect as their full custody custodial parent. A Jezebel. So fellas, I say that to say this. You have to have standards. You have to have standards when it comes to the women that you're dealing with. Even if that means being lonely. Even if that means going without companionship. When I talk bad about single mothers and the men that date them, again, there is a reason why I'm saying that. You, the man dating the single mother, probably don't want to do that. If you had a choice, you probably would prefer her without the kids. Am I right or am I right? Because why wouldn't you? The only other reason is if you can't have kids yourself and you want them. And how much of the population of men are walking around infertile and they know they're infertile? Like you've tried to have kids and you couldn't. You would need a girl to do that. So how would you know you're infertile? Unless you're going to donate at the bank. Other than that, how would you know? So I say there's a particular type of mindset that comes with the type of guys that will go after these type of women. There's a mindset that comes with it. And it's usually a hedonistic mindset. It's usually a low value mindset. Because choosing the mother of your children is the most important decision you can make in your life. And she already has evidence of failed relationships, home destruction, and individualistic mindset, individualistic Jezebel-like thinking. And I'm not saying that every single woman under every circumstance is a bad person because they became a single mother. But what I am painting them with a broad stroke over is the likelihood that she's in that category. It's a very high likelihood that the selection process was severely flawed and she was not building her selection process upon tried and true data. Now we have a system that we're aware of. If we already knew it was happening with the Epstein situation, we now know that we have a system of underage girls that are completely victimized by their own mothers. So what I'm trying to do, the intention of this channel is to start a movement, as small as we might be. All of us in this, we just a couple people. But it's large if you was to put us all in the same group. My intentions is to start a movement that points this stuff out and brings it to the forefront. Forces these people to clean out their closet. And guess what? If I was to be able to do that, I wouldn't get any pushback other than from the powers that be. I wouldn't get any pushback other than from the powers that be. You can't go online and make a TikTok video. Abba and Preach can't say that I'm a weirdo manosphere guy that wants to save the children. You can't say that. So I'm not worried about Abba and Preach making a video clowning the manosphere, clowning red pill, saying that this is what these red pill guys do. I ain't worried about none of that. The only thing I'll be worried about is the powers that be. And I'm not afraid of that, because as a protector, you should be willing to die with sword and shield to protect your community. That's called love. That's called love. But it's Taco Tuesday, fellas. That don't necessarily mean you got to eat unhealthy, but I'm about to eat unhealthy tonight and I'm going to work out. I'm going to get me some tacos. And I'm not getting the real tacos. I'm getting the dadgum Americanized tacos, some dang Taco Bell. Criticize me, yes. I'm about to go cheat all dang day. I'm going to go get me some Taco Bell. Man, y'all let me know what y'all think about this stream, man. I appreciate everybody that showed up. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the kind of new content. Man, I got so much more in store. I still gotta, fix this little stream deck up a little bit so that you guys can have a better streaming experience. Man, I got a lot of stuff that I'm working on right now. I was actually thinking about turning this into a video instead, but I was like, nah, man, let's get into the live stream. But I'm not gonna stream too long tonight, man. I'm gonna try to make this a little bit shorter than usual. Normally I go for almost 2 hours, but I'm gonna make it a little shorter than usual because I'm really hungry. You know what I'm saying? And but I think the message is out, man. I think the point that I was trying to get across has definitely got across. And for all you guys that were not able to make it to the stream still, I appreciate you, man. I definitely appreciate everybody that supports my channel. And you guys have been awesome, especially the base, the usual suspects. And of course, I'm not gonna leave without shouting you guys out, man. Shout out to, hold on, I'm sorry, I was over here. Shout out to my guy, D-Dog, Peace, NGE. Shout out to I am Alex What. Shout out to Malik Kwali. Shout out to Big Zilla, the City Thriller. Shout out to Triple X. There's a lot more. I'm gonna scroll a little bit to grab you guys, man. Shout out to Ezekiel Ben Israel. Shout yourselves out in the comment section, man, for everybody. Shout out to Red MF. There's a few of you guys, man, but like I said, man, I really appreciate everybody that joined the stream tonight, man. If you not like the video, be sure to like the damn video. Become the change you want to see. It's your boy, NGE. And with that being said, peace.